Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My dear students, I hope you people are fine. Yesterday, Dr. Mariam Rashid gave you the brief introduction of pharmacodynamics. So today's lecture is Introduction to Pharmacodynamics and Drug Receptor Interactions. So now I'm going to start the lecture. Now, first of all, what are the learning outcomes or learning objectives of the today's lecture? Explain the term pharmacodynamics. Describe the general mechanisms by which the drugs act. Explain the terms affinity and efficacy. Explain with examples agonist, partial agonist, antagonist, and inverse agonist. Now, what is pharmacodynamics? I know you people are familiar with the term pharmacodynamics. Pharmacodynamics is the study of the effects of drug on the body and the mechanism of action of drugs. That is what the drugs does to the body. Now, what is receptor? I hope you people will understand the receptor. As you have learned the definition of receptor, receptor is a macromolecular component of a cell with which the drug interacts to produce the response. The receptor is usually in the form of protein, but receptor may be present in other form. Like receptor may be some enzymes, receptor may be membrane proteins like glycoproteins, lipoproteins. Receptors may be nucleic acid, receptors may be complex polysaccharides, or receptor may be in the form of structural proteins. Now these are the features which must be present in the receptor. Receptor must be biologically active molecules. To produce the response, receptor must be biologically active molecules. Receptors must have certain structural features that permit the attachment of specific drug. That is, different drugs have their specific receptors and the drug bind with this specific receptor. The drug does not bind with all the receptors. So receptors must have structural features that permit the attachment of specific drug. So that permit the drug specificity. Receptors must have a drug binding site to which the drug is attached and it has a biologically active site. Now, these are the characteristics of the receptor which is present in the receptor. Receptors must be specific, as I have already told you that all the drugs do not, that the different drugs do not bind with the same receptor. Rather, the drugs have their specific receptors to which they bind and produce the response. So, specificity of the receptors for the drug and selectivity of the response. The drug bind with the receptor and produce the selective response. That how much the response is achieved. So different receptors produce different selective response. Selectivity of response, and next the sensitivity of the receptors. That is the regulation of the receptor. Which come under down regulation of receptors or up regulation of receptors. Sensitivity of receptors or regulation of receptors, that topic will be discussed inshallah in detail later. Examples like epinephrine binds to receptors of sympathetic nervous system. Epinephrine binds to alpha 1, alpha 2 as well as beta 1 and beta 2. But epinephrine does not bind to insulin or thyroid receptors. Thyroid, likewise, thyroid hormone bind to thyroid receptors and insulin bind to insulin receptor. So the characteristics of the receptors are their specificity, their selectivity of response, and sensitivity of receptors, that is the regulation of receptors. Now next, what is ligand? Ligand is the molecules or the substances that binds to a receptor. It is not necessary that the drug bind to a receptor. Uh, Certain hormones, chemicals, neurotransmitter, they also bind to a receptor and produce the response. So it is not necessary that only drug will bind to the receptor. So the ligand may be drugs, hormones, and neurotransmitters. Now the mechanisms of drug action. Drug may combine with receptor effector. That is, the drug may combine with receptor effector, and then the drug receptor effector complex is formed, which will lead to effect. And then it may also possible that the drug and the receptor will lead to the formation of drug receptor complex, which will lead to the activation of effector molecule, and then effect is achieved. And then in the third case, it may also possible when the drug and drug will combine with receptor, it will drug receptor complex will be formed, and then there will be activation of coupling molecule, and effector molecule will be activated, and then effect is produced. And then in the case of fourth possibility is also that there may be inhibition of metabolism of endogenous activator, which will be lead to increased activation of an effector molecule, which will lead to increased effect. So there are certain mechanisms by which drug interact with the receptor. Now the drug receptor interaction. Receptor exists in two states. There are two states of receptor, that is inactive state and the active state. These two states of the receptors are present in reversible equilibrium with each other. That is, the inactive state and active state of the receptor are present in reversible equilibrium with each other. Now, when the drug binds to the receptor or binding of agonist to the receptor, it causes the equilibrium to shift from inactive state to active state. And when the equilibrium is shifted from inactive state to active state, it will produce a Valgical effect. The magnitude of Valgical effect is directly related to the fraction of activated state. That is the how much response is achieved. It will be determined by the fraction of activated state. Now I will define different terms. What is affinity? Affinity is the concentration of a drug required to bind 50% of the receptor sites, or the binding ability of the drug is also known as the affinity. The concentration of a drug required to bind 50% of the receptor site is called the affinity of the drug. It is denoted by Kd. The smaller the Kd, the greater the affinity of the drug for the receptor, and vice versa. Now, what is efficacy? Efficacy is the effect produced by the efficacy is the effect or the response which is produced by the drug. Efficacy is the maximum effect the drug or agonist can produce if the dose is taken to the highest tolerated level. Efficacy is determined mainly by the nature of the drug and the receptor and its associated effector system. Efficacy is also dependent upon the number of drug receptor complexes formed and the intrinsic activity of the drug. So the effect or the response which will produce by the drug or the agonist is known as the efficacy. Now, what is potency? Potency is the concentration of a drug required to produce 50% of the maximum effect is called the potency of the drug. Potency is denoted by EC50. So the concentration of a drug required to produce 50% of the maximum effect is called the potency. And what is maximum effect? Efficacy. And potency is denoted by EC50. Now, what is intrinsic activity? Intrinsic activity of the drug is the ability of the drug to activate the receptor and cause a cellular response. Now, agonist. Drug that produce a response is known as the agonist. Drugs that interact with the receptor and activate the receptor and produce the response is known as the agonist. Agonist possesses both affinity and intrinsic activity. Now the types of agonists, there are basically two types of agonist, full agonist and partial agonist. Full agonist produce maximum response, while the partial agonist produce response, but it is not the maximal response. That response is less than the response which will be produced by the full agonist. Partial agonists produce response but with less maximal efficacy as compared to full agonist. Now the full agonist, the agonist which produce the response with maximal efficacy. Full agonist has affinity plus intrinsic activity. The example of full agonist is the phenylephrine. Phenylephrine, which will produce response by combining with alpha receptors. Partial agonist, an agonist which will produce response but with less maximal efficacy as compared to agonist. Partial agonist has less affinity and less intrinsic activity as compared to full agonist. Example of partial agonist include buprenorphine, which will produce the response but less response as compared to the full agonist. Buprenorphine is the partial agonist at opioid receptors. Partial agonist can act as antagonist in the presence of full agonist. In the absence of full agonist, partial agonist produce response, small response, but in the presence of full agonist, partial agonist can act as antagonist because it tries to counteract the response of full agonist. So it can act as antagonist in the presence of full agonist. Now this is the agonist dose response curve. In this diagram, if you people can see, the full agonist produce the response with maximal efficacy, while the partial agonist, it produces the response, but that response is less as compared to the response produced by the full agonist. It produces response but with less submaximal efficacy, or it produces submaximal response. Now in this diagram, different agonists are shown and they differ in their potency and maximal efficacy. Uh, the dose response is plotted on y-axis while the response is plotted on x-axis. So if we see A and B, has drug A and B produce the same response. As we can see, the response produced by the drugs A and B, they achieve the same height. Response is plotted on x-axis, so sorry, y-axis. They have the same height, they produce the same response, so they have same efficacy. Drug A and B, almost they have same efficacy. And drug C has less efficacy as compared to drug A and B, and drug D has even more less efficacy as compared to drug C, and it has least efficacy. And in terms of potency, if you people can see, the dose is plotted at as y-axis, sorry, x-axis. Dose is plotted at x-axis, and potency is the concentration of the drug required to produce a response. So less concentration is required to produce the response produced by drug A. So drug A जितनी कम concentration require होगी मैक्सिमल रिस्पॉन्स प्रोड्यूस करने की, उतनी ही वो ड्रग ज्यादा पोटेंट होगी. सो इसमें सबसे कम कॉन्सेंट्रेशन किसमें रिक्वायर होगी? ड्रग ए में. सो ड्रग ए विल बी more potent. In out of the four drugs, drug A will be more potent. Then drug B is potent, but it is less potent as compared to drug A because more dose or more concentration is required to produce the response as the same response as achieved by the drug A. So it is less potent as compared to drug A because more concentration is required to produce a maximum response. And in case of drug C, it is both it has both less efficacy as compared to drug A and B, and it is less potent as compared to drug A and B. And D has got least efficacy as well as least potency, as most concentration is required to produce some response achieved by the drug D. Now, what are antagonists? Antagonists interact with the receptor, but antagonists do not change the receptor. There will be no conformational change to activate the receptor. Antagonists interact with the receptor, so they have the binding affinity. They have affinity, but they have no intrinsic activity. Rather, they block the action of other drugs. Antagonists, by binding to a receptor, compete with the receptor and prevent binding of the other molecules. Important types of antagonists are pharmacological antagonist, physiological antagonist, and chemical antagonist. These are three important types of antagonist: pharmacological antagonist, physiological antagonist, and chemical antagonist. Then pharmacological antagonist will be further divided into two parts, that is reversible antagonist and irreversible antagonist. Now, what is the pharmacological antagonism? Pharmacological antagonist is the drug that binds with the receptor but without activating its receptor and thereby prevent activation by an agonist. So, a drug that binds without activating its receptors and thereby prevents activation by an agonist. Types of pharmacological antagonism are competitive or irreversible or non-competitive and irreversible. Non-competitive or irreversible is the same, and competitive or reversible is the same. Now, what happens in case of competitive antagonism? In the presence of a fixed concentration of agonist, increasing concentration of reversible competitive antagonist progressively inhibit the agonist response, and high antagonist concentrations prevent response completely. अगर एगोनिस्ट की concentration fix कर दें और एक ही रिसेप्टर के ऊपर एगोनिस्ट और एंटागोनिस्ट दोनों एक्ट कर रहे हैं, अगर लेट्स से वी विल फिक्स द concentration of agonist और इंक्रीज करते जाए concentration competitive एंटागोनिस्ट की, तो वो एगोनिस्ट के रिस्पॉन्स को कम करने लग जाएगी और एक स्टेज ऐसे आए कि जब हाई कंसंट्रेशन एंटागोनिस्ट की कंप्लीटली रिस्पॉन्स इनहिबिट कर देगी, खत्म कर देगी एगोनिस्ट का रिस्पॉन्स। ठीक है, और कॉन्वर्सली लेकिन अगर इसके ऑपोजिट देखें, कॉन्वर्सली sufficiently high concentration of agonist can surmount the effect of a given concentration of the antagonist। अगर एंटागोनिस्ट की डोज एक ही रिसेप्टर के ऊपर एक्ट करेंगे, कंपिटेटिव एंटागोनिस्ट एक ही रिसेप्टर के ऊपर एक्ट कर रहे हैं, अगर इसके ऑपोजिट देखें जो भी आपको बताया कि एगोनिस्ट की कंसंट्रेशन हाई करते जाए और एंटागोनिस्ट की फिक्स कंसंट्रेशन हो, ठीक है, तो क्या होगा, हाई concentration of agonist it will surmount or replace the effect of given concentration of the antagonist। So it is type of competitive antagonism, agonist and antagonist. It will compete with the same receptor. It will bind to the same site of the receptor. Next, because the antagonism is competitive, the presence of antagonist increase the concentration of agonist required for a given degree of response. So the agonist concentration effect curve is shifted to the right. Examples of competitive or reversible antagonists include beta blockers and antimuscarinic drugs। अब इसमें यह है कि क्योंकि ये competitive antagonism है, जैसे जैसे इसकी डोज बढ़ाते जाएंगे, अगर एगोनिस्ट और एंटागोनिस्ट एक ही रिसेप्टर के ऊपर दोनों एक्ट करेंगे और जैसे जैसे एगोनिस्ट की डोज हम बढ़ाते जाएंगे और एंटागोनिस्ट की डोज फिक्स रखेंगे, तो एक स्टेज ऐसे आएगी जब एगोनिस्ट दोबारा उसके एंटागोनिस्ट को रिप्लेस कर देगा, दोबारा वही रिस्पॉन्स अचीव हो जाएगा लेकिन हाई डोज पे अचीव होगा। जब हाई डोज पे अचीव होगा तो डोज रिस्पॉन्स कर्व राइट की तरफ शिफ्ट हो जाएगा। ये भी आपको डायग्राम में मैं एक्सप्लेन करती हूँ। Now, what is non-competitive pharmacological antagonism? Antagonists bind to a site on the receptor protein separate from the agonist binding site or to the same site। जो competitive है उसमें रिसेप्टर एक ही रिसेप्टर के लिए एक ही रिसेप्टर के ऊपर एक्ट करते हैं बोथ एगोनिस्ट और एंटागोनिस्ट और एक ही साइट के ऊपर, लेकिन नॉन कम्पिटिटिव में एक ही रिसेप्टर के ऊपर तो एक्ट करते हैं लेकिन या सेम साइट होती है या सेपरेट साइट भी हो सकती है। सो एंटागोनिस्ट बाइंड टू अ साइट फ्रॉम द रिसेप्टर प्रोटीन सेपरेट फ्रॉम द एगोनिस्ट बाइंडिंग साइट और टू द सेम साइट। A non-competitive irreversible, it prevents receptor activation without blocking the agonist binding। It will not affect the binding of agonist, but it will prevent the activation of the receptor। Examples include phenoxybenzamine। Phenoxybenzamine is the irreversible antagonist। So if you people can see, this is the dose response curve. This is the dose response curve of the competitive antagonist, and this is the dose response curve of the irreversible or non-competitive। ये आपको लेफ्ट साइड पे आपकी नजर आ रहा है डोज रिस्पॉन्स कर्व, जिसे ए से लेबल किया हुआ है कम्पिटिटिव एंटागोनिस्ट, और बी पे राइट साइड पे आपको नजर आ रहा है नॉन कम्पिटिटिव का डोज रिस्पॉन्स कर्व पे क्या इफेक्ट होगा। लेट से एक ही रिसेप्टर के ऊपर एक्ट कर रहे हैं एगोनिस्ट और एंटागोनिस्ट, दोनों एक्ट कर रहे हैं। अब एगोनिस्ट अलोन, अभी एंटागोनिस्ट हमने नहीं डाला रिसेप्टर के ऊपर, या एंटागोनिस्ट हमने ऐड नहीं किया, ठीक है। एगोनिस्ट रिसेप्टर के साथ कंबाइन करेगा और मैक्सिमम रिस्पॉन्स अचीव करेगा, ये हाइट देखें, ठीक है। अब इफेक्ट ऑफ एंटागोनिस्ट, अब एंटागोनिस्ट हम लोगों ने ऐड किया, ठीक है। एंटागोनिस्ट जब ऐड किया तो ये शुरू में इनिशियली इसके रिस्पॉन्स को कम करने की कोशिश करेगा एगोनिस्ट के रिस्पॉन्स को। उसके बाद हम एंटागोनिस्ट की डोज कांस्टेंट कर रखेंगे और एगोनिस्ट की डोज हम इंक्रीज करते जाएंगे। तो एक लेवल ऐसा आएगा इफेक्ट ऑफ एंटागोनिस्ट, शुरू में इसने रिस्पॉन्स कम करने की कोशिश की है एगोनिस्ट के, लेकिन अब एंटागोनिस्ट की डोज कांस्टेंट रखेंगे और एगोनिस्ट की डोज बढ़ाते जाएंगे, तो इंक्रीज करते जाएंगे। तो एक स्टेज ऐसी आएगी कि हम लोगों को दोबारा वही इनिशियल पुराना रिस्पॉन्स मिल जाएगा एगोनिस्ट से, ठीक है। तो एगोनिस्ट विल सरमाउंट द इफेक्ट और रिप्लेस द इफेक्ट ऑफ एंटागोनिस्ट। अब इसमें एगोनिस्ट प्लस कम्पिटिटिव एंटागोनिस्ट, रिस्पॉन्स अचीव हो गया है, उतना ही हो गया है। एंटागोनिस्ट की डोज हमने कांस्टेंट रख दिया और एगोनिस्ट की डोज इंक्रीज करते गए, लेकिन रिस्पॉन्स किस पे अचीव हुआ, विद इंक्रीज डोज ऑफ एगोनिस्ट। अब कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ज्यादा रिक्वायर इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ एंटागोनिस्ट, कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ज्यादा रिक्वायर हुई है रिस्पॉन्स अचीव करने के लिए, ठीक है। तो इसमें डोज रिस्पॉन्स कर्व विल बी शिफ्टेड टू द राइट। ये देखें कि पुराना डोज रिस्पॉन्स कर्व था, इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ एंटागोनिस्ट डोज रिस्पॉन्स कर्व विल बी शिफ्ट टू द राइट। और अब आप लेफ्ट साइड पे, सॉरी अपनी राइट साइड पे देखें, ये कर्व दिया हुआ है नॉन कम्पिटेटिव और इरिवर्सिबल का, इसमें एगोनिस्ट अलोन, ये देखें, ठीक है। उसके बाद इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ एगोनिस्ट प्लस इरिवर्सिबल एंटागोनिस्ट, ठीक है। एगोनिस्ट प्लस इरिवर्सिबल एंटागोनिस्ट, रिस्पॉन्स कम हो गया, द डोज रिस्पॉन्स कर्व विल बी शिफ्टेड डाउनवर्ड, ठीक है। इसमें चाहे एगोनिस्ट की डोज बढ़ाते भी जाएं, लेकिन एंटागोनिस्ट अपनी साइड से इरिवर्सिबली अटैच हुआ हुआ है, वो उससे बाइंड रहेगा रिसेप्टर से, वो नहीं हिलेगा, और एगोनिस्ट उसको रिप्लेस नहीं कर सकेगा, या सरमाउंटेबल इफेक्ट नहीं होगा। तो इंक्रीज बेशक इसकी डोज इंक्रीज भी करते जाएं, लेकिन इतना ही इफेक्ट रहेगा, इफेक्ट कम हो गया एगोनिस्ट का, ठीक है। उसने उसके इट हैज एफिनिटी, जो एंटागोनिस्ट की एफिनिटी होती है, लेकिन उसकी इंट्रिंसिक एक्टिविटी नहीं है। अब एंटागोन ये इसकी साइट को ब्लॉक नहीं कर रहा, एगोनिस्ट इसके साथ अटैच होगा, लेकिन इसके इफेक्ट को ब्लॉक कर देगा, इफेक्ट प्रोड्यूस नहीं करने देगा, इंट्रिंसिक एक्टिविटी प्रोड्यूस नहीं करने देगा। अब इसके और यार ये बोथ कंडीशंस हो सकती हैं, सेम साइट ऑफ रिसेप्टर को भी अटैच कर सकता है नॉन कम्पिटिटिव, और डिफरेंट साइट ऑफ रिसेप्टर पे भी अटैच हो सकता है, लेकिन मोस्टली जो कम्पिटिटिव होता है वो सेम साइट ऑफ रिसेप्टर पे अटैच होता है। और इसमें ये है कि अगर हम लोग उसकी डोज बढ़ाते जाएं एगोनिस्ट की, तो वो रिसेप्टर को आहिस्ता आहिस्ता डिस्प्लेस कर देता है या रिप्लेस कर देता है उस साइट से, तो उस पर अफेक्ट वापस उसका अचीव हो जाता है। नाउ इसका जब हम कंपैरिजन करें कम्पिटिटिव एंटागोनिज्म और नॉन कम्पिटिटिव एंटागोनिज्म का, कम्पिटिटिव एंटागोनिज्म it may occur at same site of receptor, or non-competitive it can be same and can be different receptor site. Competitive antagonism, the effect is surmountable, it can be replaced by increasing the dose of agonist, while in case of non-competitive antagonism dose increase करने का कोई फायदा नहीं है, it is not replaceable, it is unsurmountable. In case of competitive antagonism, antagonist reduces the potency. Potency किस तरह reduce की उसने agonist की, क्योंकि अब वही रिस्पॉन्स, पुराना रिस्पॉन्स उसको इंक्रीज डोज पे अचीव होगा। सो इंक्रीज कॉन्सेंट्रेशन of the agonist will be required to produce the full response in the presence of antagonist. While in case of non-competitive antagonist, डोज इंक्रीज करने का कोई फायदा नहीं है, एगोनिस्ट की डोज बेशक इंक्रीज करे, लेकिन उसका रिस्पॉन्स का जितना कम उसका रिस्पॉन्स होगा उतना ही रहेगा, एंटागोनिस्ट के प्रेसेंस में उसका रिस्पॉन्स ज़्यादा नहीं होगा। So antagonist will reduce the efficacy of the agonist. Non-competitive antagonist will reduce the efficacy of the agonist. ठीक है, it will not affect the potency but it will affect efficacy, while competitive antagonists affect the potency. And in competitive antagonists, dose response curve shift to the right, while in case of non-competitive antagonists, the dose response curve shift to the downward shift. So it reduces the efficacy. Downward shift ये show कर रहा है, और rightward curve show कर रहा है, it will affect the potency. Now, what is physiological antagonism? It is an antagonism produced by two drugs or endogenous compounds by binding to two different receptors. अब फिजियोलॉजिकल एंटागोनिज्म वो एंटागोनिज्म है जो टू ड्रग्स प्रोड्यूस करती है लेकिन वो डिफरेंट रिसेप्टर से बाइंड करती हैं और उनके ऑपोजिट एक्शन होते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, सेवरल कैटाबॉलिक एक्शंस ऑफ ग्लूकोकॉर्टिकॉइड हार्मोन्स लीड टू इंक्रीज्ड ब्लड शुगर, an effect that is physiologically opposed by insulin. So glucocorticoid or insulin, they are physiological antagonists. Next, histamine produces bronchoconstriction while adrenaline produces bronchodilation. So histamine and adrenaline are physiological antagonists. Now that is your assignment. Tabulate the difference between competitive and non-competitive antagonist. Now what is chemical antagonist? It is an antagonism without involvement of receptors. Chemical antagonism में receptors involved नहीं होते. For examples include protamine is used to counteract the effect of heparin. Protamine और heparin एक दूसरे के effect को counteract करती हैं, और protamine और heparin they are chemical antagonist. Heparin is the anticoagulant drug and protamine is used to counteract the effect of heparin. Antacids neutralize the gastric acid. Next, dimercaprol, it is a lead chelating agent. So dimercaprol is the chemical antagonist of lead. Now what is inverse agonist? Activity in the absence of a ligand is called the constitutive activity of the receptor. जब रिसेप्टर के ऊपर अगर कोई ड्रग या कोई एगोनिस्ट अटैच नहीं होता तब भी उसके अंदर अपनी एक एक्टिविटी होती है जिसको कहते हैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूटिव एक्टिविटी. Activity in the absence of ligand is called the constitutive activity of the receptor. अगर रिसेप्टर के साथ कोई ड्रग या कोई ligand अटैच ना भी हो तब भी एक एक्टिविटी हमेशा रिसेप्टर के अंदर प्रेजेंट रहती है जिसे कहते हैं constitutive activity of the receptor. Inverse agonists have a much higher affinity for the inactivated state of the receptor and they decrease the constitutive activity of the receptor. Beta-carbolines are the inverse agonist at benzodiazepines receptor.